guys, and welcome to RetroB8. Okay, so this was going to be an episode about an Amiga game that is really nostalgic to me, but unfortunately while playing that game, my Amiga packed up, which is really distressing for me. I think it's only the capacitors that need changing. So a new kit's been ordered and I'll be changing the capacitors. I don't think there's that many to change on the Amiga 1200 board. So, well, we'll see how that goes. So, rather than doing that, I thought, well, I'm still want to do a video about the Amiga. So I'm going to show you guys my Amiga collection. Now, I only ever buy Amiga games that are genuinely nostalgic to me. I have had a couple gifted to me that are in this set. But I have kept them because they really have got some nostalgia there for me as well. So these are in no particular order. I'm just going to show them as they are. And yeah, we're going to start off with, probably out of all of these, the game that I've spent the most time on. And guys, this is Championship Manager. This was made by Dormark, or Championship Manager 1993, I think this is. Yeah. There was one that came out before this, I think it was in like a red box. However, this is the one that I did have. Spent a huge amount of time on this when I should have been practicing for my GCSEs. So, I mean, let's just have a look at some of the names on the back of here. Who have we got here? We've got players like Brian Clough, Christ, it's not that old. Nigel Clough, he's on there. The England team, Chris Woods, Tony Cotton, Stuart Pearce, Razor Ruddock, Gary Pallister, Chris Waddle, Matt Latisse, Alan Shearer, among plenty others. This game was the manager game to own back in the day on the Amiga. And I think it's now, I think this kind of evolved into Football Manager that we all know today. But guys, this was just like, it was so much faster to play. For the time it was in depth, but compared to now, where it takes like about 2 weeks to do pre-season, you could probably get pre-season done in maybe a day here by the players that you wanted to, etc. So yeah, that's a good one to start off with. And I did also have this the next season, which was the season after, which was the 1994 update. And this one does actually have the it doesn't come unfortunately with the book, which is a little bit disappointing. But to be fair, I mean, you know, we're talking like 30 years ago. So, yeah, that one you can only play alongside this one here. It's just like an update disc. Okay, then we move on to some big guns. We've got Syndicate. What a game this is. It was kind of set in what like I used to imagine was like Blade Runner, something, you know, like that type of future. You've got different factions, you've got cyborgs. Obviously you're trying to become like the biggest faction to take over the city. Absolutely loved this game. I really did. I spent such a long time playing this, guys, back in the day. The only difference is pretty much virtually all of these I had were all copies, and now I'm lucky enough to own the originals. So there was a bit of chat about this the other day. Been talking to a few guys about Zool, and what Zool is. Is he a gremlin? Is he an ant? All I know is that he's a ninja from the nth dimension. Really good platform with this, guys, on the Amiga. I think it lost its way a little bit with number 2, but it will appeal to some people, the sequel, because you can be a female character and I think possibly an animal, like a dog or something like that. But yeah, it was very random, the levels on this, if I remember rightly. If you just look at the levels there, you had stuff like lollipops. Was it Chupa Chups or something like that? Like the lollipops. I'm sure that was this game. It's such a while since I played it. But yeah, from Gremlin Graphics, of course. Then we've got Zool. Absolute cracking game. Then on to Team 17 Worms. I'm sure you guys have all heard of Team 17. I'm pretty sure that they're actually still going now. And Worms has probably got to be one of their, if not their most successful game. I think they've done, oh, what's the one where, is it Overcooked? They've done Overcooked recently. I'm sure that was Team 17 that made that. But these guys have brought out some absolutely superb games. Weren't they responsible for Alien Breed as well? I'm sure it was Alien Breed. Absolutely solid game. Is a game I would like to own actually, but no, I haven't got that yet. But the graphics for back then, guys, on the Amiga, just really great. And it was a really cool game, bit like Lemmings really, but of course you could like shoot each other with like cool, I don't know, it was like Lemons but different. I think it was a bit more like explosive than Lemons, wasn't it? And this is the game I was trying to play, guys. This would have been the video for today. And this is Degeneration. What made me think about it was I've done a video not so long back on Escape from the Planet of the Robot Monsters. And the reason I enjoyed this so much is because when I used to play that game on the Commodore 64, although it was isometric, I do have a few issues with isometric games, especially when you're trying to jump between platforms and things like that. I just think it's a nightmare with isometric games. But with this one, there's no jumping, but there is lots of puzzle elements. And there's some great enemies. There's like bouncy balls, like space hoppers that like engulf you. There's lasers. There's all sorts of good stuff. It's like a bit of an adventure. There's a story there as well to it, but I think the graphics really hold up well. I think that it's come out on is it the Switch? I think there's a version you can get on Switch now, which would suit that right down to the ground. Just have a quick look there, guys, at the graphics. It really is a super little game. I'm genuinely happy to own this one. I was so gutted yesterday when I was doing the footage for the video and the Amiga clapped out. So if you had an Amiga and you liked football, then you should have owned this at some point, guys. This is SWOS, or Sensible World of Soccer. I think when this came out, we did already have Sensible Soccer, and although it had like European teams and famous teams from around the world, this was just definitive. It basically covered teams that you've never heard of in the world. You could buy the players. You got 20 seasons. You could become the national manager of your chosen country. It just had everything. It really did. Between this and Football Manager, I spent so much time on these two games. And you know what? I played this recently. It stands up pretty well. It certainly plays a lot better than the PlayStation effort that they tried to do. It was on PS1 or PS2. They tried to do like a 3D version or something. Didn't work. See, a lot of games back then were trying to go 3D, but Sensible sort of like booked the trend and they just kept it simple, and I think that's why it worked. So to try and change it with 3D game kind of went against everything that they've been trying to do in the first place, and it was, as far as I'm concerned, a complete disaster. So moving on next, guys, we've got a game that for me is possibly the best music on the Amiga ever, and there is a lot of great music on the Commodore Amiga, but for me, this one just beats them all. And this is the Chaos Engine. I've showed this one before, guys. I've done a video specific for the Chaos Engine. I'll stick a link in the corner, which I'm going to say is here, but it'll probably end up there because I always pick that up. But anyway, quick look at the back, guys. Plenty of screenshots there, set in some sort of like steampunk future. I was playing Banshee the other day, and that's a game by, I think it was Core Design, and I've never realised how similar Banshee and the Chaos Engine is. Like way closer than what I imagined. Just look at the left hand side and look at the health bar and stuff like that. Then have a look at the Chaos Engine. Tell me it's not the same. or very similar anyway. Next, we've got a game that made my list of worst box covers. It's a good job. It's a fucking cracking game, because Cannon Fodder is one not to be missed. I think it did come out on other platforms, but you know what? I don't think I've ever played it on anything else other than an Amiga. It's absolutely fantastic. You use a mouse button, one button to direct away when you guys to go, the other button to fire missiles, machine guns, whatever. There's a lot of puzzle element in there as well. A little bit of luck maybe. Absolutely brilliant game. If you love your Amiga, you need this. Excellent game. I was actually chatting to one of the guys from Sensible Stew Cambridge on Twitter a couple of months back, maybe about a year ago now actually. Absolutely cracking guy. I think he was one of the design artists for a lot of like Sensible games. Honestly, if you do come across him on Twitter, he's such an approachable guy, and yeah, he was genuinely great to talk to. So then we've got the sequel, Cannon Fodder 2. Now, this doesn't hold as much nostalgia, but it was a game that was gifted to the channel. So it was Andre Russell that gave me this, and it had to stay simply because I didn't rate it as highly back then. In fact, I still don't rate it as high as Cannon Fodder the original, but it is a cracking game. Still really enjoyed it. I think they went a bit too far with the levels in outer space or somewhere like that. Here's a quick look at the back, guys. Cannon Fodder 2. Definitely worth a go, but I would definitely say that the first one shades it for me. Now, this game I played a lot. You can quite easily get lost in this game as well. Not quite as much as Championship Manager, but Frontier Elite 2. This is an absolutely brilliant game. I had it on the Commodore 64. Obviously, it wasn't a patch on this. This ran okay on the Amiga 1200. We may have had an Amiga 600, and to be fair, it just didn't run the same. It was like really jerky and that. And like we were happy just to have a Commodore Amiga back in the day. There was no such thing. Like, we didn't even know about accelerators and stuff like that. I mean, I would just barely afford one now for the Amiga, so I don't even want to imagine how much it cost back in those days. But even just the weight, guys, to this, because like the instruction booklet inside is just massive. It's like a Bible, you know. But it was just a fantastic game. Definitely, if you like space exploration, stuff like that, buying and selling, killing people and space pirateering, this is for you. Excellent game. Made by Konami, which I always find less well. It was released by Konami here. David Brobham, I mean, that's the guy who done it. But Game Tech and Konami. So yeah, really surprised to see it released from them. So, getting close to the end now, guys. This is a game I was talking about earlier, Zool 2. As I say, I've definitely got more nostalgia for the first game than for this one. But again, I was gifted this, so I've played it since, and I do enjoy it, so it's definitely staying in the collection. Yeah, a nice game. It's pretty much just more of the same. I couldn't really find many differences, apart from you can play it as the female character here. And she is called Zool, and I think I'm sure you could play as the dog. Could you? Nah, I'm not sure now actually. But there's the dog there that you might or might not be able to play as. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, Zool 2. If you enjoyed the first one, you'll probably enjoy that one. Now, this is another game that was gifted to the channel, again by Andrea. And although I did have it on the Amiga, my nostalgia for this is 100% the arcades. There was always a kind of a choice between Street Fighter 2 or Mortal Kombat. And guys, I was Mortal Kombat all the way. I've always been into me blood and gore and stuff like that, and being able to pull someone's head off with their spine intact. I mean, I was like a 14, 13-year-old lad. Who doesn't want to do that in a computer game, right? couple of screenshots on the back. It's a very basic box, especially on the back, but the front, I mean, that just says it all. I just think the front, it's plain, it's simple, but it's really effective, and it definitely grabs your attention, for me anyway. So a really cool game. It's only on 2 discs. If I remember, the loading time was just ridiculous for some of the fights, but it was what it was. Do you know what I mean? That was the computer that we had, and yeah, the copied version that I had actually come on 3 discs. I remember there was an extra disc just for the beginning, just to load up before you even started playing the game. So coming on to speaking about amount of discs, I think this one, God, I can't even remember how many this had, and I think it's at least 10. It could possibly be more. But this is Beneath the Steel Sky, and this is possibly, in fact no, this is my favourite adventure game on the Amiga. It comes above Monkey Island 2, and you know, other games of that genre. It was set in space. It was on a different planet. It was something new. It had the same kind of attitude. It was funny. There's plenty of jokes in here. I prefer this version to the CD32, simply because the CD32 version crammed as much speech in there as possible, and I'm pretty sure you can't even fast forward it, so you have to listen to it all. Annoyingly, for me, it's got that Menzies sticker there, which I'd probably prefer it if it wasn't there, but it is on there and it's staying. But still, guys, look at the back. Do you know what? I've heard that there's a remake of this game on the horizon, and I don't know if there were mock-ups that I saw or whether it was the actual game, but it looked absolutely awesome. Let's just have a look. 15 discs, guys. 15 discs. So it's got all the booklets and that in there. I haven't went through the rest of them, but they are all complete, apart from the book that will be in Championship Manager. But I'm not really asked about that. And anyway, this is a game that came today. The box was absolutely wrecked. Like, I got it for cheap, so I can't complain. But I actually ripped the box apart, ironed it, and put it all back together, and it actually looks pretty decent. I'll try and add some photos in so you can see what I've done with me bit iron and a bit of Brit stick. But now we have a flashback box, which actually looks like a flashback box. It's got the bit that moves on here. I'll just close that up again. This bit here like slides off, so that's all working. Yeah, and it's in a lot better condition than what it was originally this morning when I got it. Games Master give this 95% according to the back. So you can check out some of the graphics there. I'm sure you guys are all very familiar with Flashback. It's a cracking game. The intro blew me away when I first saw this for the Amiga, and I think that is the nostalgia for me, because the copy of the game I had was in French, and even though I took French at school, I ain't ever been any good at French really. So yeah, I only ever got so far trying to read what Olo Cube was talking about, you know what I mean? There was no speech in them days either, so you had to read what was going on. It was all in French, so I don't even think I ever got off the first level. Always remind me of Prince of Persia, which I also loved. I really do like those kind of platformer games, you know, you can hang and pull yourself up and what have you, but this one obviously came with a gun. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that quick little look into the Amiga games collection. 3.5 floppy disks aren't working as great as what they're used to, and for me they're aging worse than what tapes are. I find tape media seems to work better than what disc media does these days, but maybe that's just me. I might be just unlucky, but all of these are tested and are all working, which is like a minor miracle, because so many that I've come across don't work anymore, which is a shame. But anyway, I'm going to try and look after these as well as I can and keep them in the collection for as long as I can, because I genuinely do enjoy going back to the Amiga and playing games that are super nostalgic. I will be visiting all of these at some point in my nostalgic Amiga series that I'm doing, but unfortunately that's going to have to wait until after I repair the Amiga. So guys, from RetroB8 on a nice sunny Friday afternoon, I'm just about to crack open a bit of wine and chill out for the night. So you guys try the same. From RetroB8, goodbye.